All right, so today we're going to decode a pretty controversial theory that's been making the rounds in some media circles. It's this idea of a hidden alliance that's supposedly working to take down Western civilization right from the inside. We're going to break down the argument step by step using the source material that's pushing this view.
And right off the bat, this isn't framed as some distant political theory. No, the source presents this as an urgent, time-sensitive warning. It's a claim about a major threat that, according to the argument, is playing out as we speak across Europe and America.
So what's the core claim here? Well, it's that two groups you'd never expect to work together have secretly joined forces. And the theory goes even further. It suggests they're following a historical playbook that they believe has already worked before.
Okay, so to really get into this, we have to start with a key distinction, one that the entire argument really hinges on.
The source material is really clear about this from the very beginning. Its argument is not about the religion of Islam, but about what it defines as a totally separate political ideology it calls Islamism.
And this quote right here is basically the foundation for the whole theory. It draws this really hard line between someone's personal faith and what the source is calling Islamism, which it frames as a political movement with goals that are, by definition, just not compatible with Western life. You see how they're splitting this? It's really the core of the whole thing. On one hand, you have Islam, the religion. On the other, Islamism is defined as this political project. This separation is absolutely crucial because it defines one of the two groups in this supposed alliance we're about to get into.
And all of this leads us right to the main event, the Red-Green Alliance theory. The source argues this isn't a partnership based on shared values or anything like that. It's all about pure convenience.
So here it is, the core definition. The theory alleges that Reds, described as leftists, and Greens, the Islamists we just defined, have united for one temporary goal, to take down Western systems. Let's look at how the theory breaks this down. You've got the Reds, defined here as Marxists and Socialists, and you've got the Greens, or the Islamists. Now, despite their massive ideological differences, the argument is that they're united by one single powerful thing, a shared enemy. The source really hammers this point home. This is not about mutual respect or, coexistence. It's presented as a purely tactical team-up, built on that classic principle. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And here's the kicker. This is the crucial point, right? The theory holds that both sides fully intend to betray the other. The Marxists think they'll come out on top, and the Islamists think the exact same thing. It's a temporary alliance with a ticking clock, a built-in expiration date.
So, you might be asking, what evidence does the source actually give for a theory like this? Well, it points to one primary historical event and frames it as the playbook for how this whole thing supposedly works.
According to the source, the 1979 Iranian Revolution is the blueprint. It claims an alliance formed where Islamists organized the mosques and Marxists organized the universities, and together, their combined power on the street toppled the government. But that's where the partnership ended. The theory states that as soon as they were in power, the Islamists betrayed their former allies, which led to a final, brutal step, getting rid of them completely. And just to put a number on that final step, the source claims that 60,000 of the Marxists who helped make the revolution happen were then eliminated by their former partners. This is presented as the ultimate cautionary tale, the proof of what happens at the very end of this red-green playbook.
The argument then takes this historical example and pivots hard to the present day, claiming that this exact same playbook is being used to, in its words, colonize the West from within.
And the theory gets really specific, applying this playbook to what it claims is happening right now in these particular European nations, saying they are the modern battlegrounds where this alliance is supposedly at work. As part of its evidence, the source points to the European Refugee Crisis, and it uses rhetorical questions, like this one, about the demographics of asylum seekers to suggest there's a motive beyond just finding safety. So within this very specific framework, the movement of people into Europe is not seen as a refugee crisis at all. Instead, the source explicitly calls it a strategic infiltration and colonization, saying it's all part of a much larger plan.
Then the source pulls out another historical parallel, and this one goes way back, over 200 years, to the Barbary Wars. This was a time when Western nations were paying tributes, basically bribes, to pirates just to protect their ships.
And this isn't subtle. The comparison is made explicitly. The act of paying bribes to pirates for safe passage is presented as a direct historical parallel to modern discussions about paying Iran for oil passage.
The source frames this as history just repeating itself, a sign of Western weakness that it believes only invites more aggression.
So all of this, the ideology, the alliance, the historical playbook, it all builds to one final, very stark warning and what the source calls an awakening.
But the solution proposed here isn't a physical call to arms. It's a call for an intellectual and cultural one, to understand and confront the ideology of Islamism now, in order to prevent a violent conflict down the road.
And the way it's presented, the stakes could not possibly be higher. The choice is framed as this very clear binary choice. Option 1, wake up and confront this ideology now through awareness. Or option 2, let it go, and eventually future generations will be forced to confront it physically, either by paying a tax for being infidels or by fighting a massive holy war.
So we've just broken down a theory that presents this hidden conflict shaping the modern West. It frames the world in terms of these tactical alliances and deep internal threats. Now, no matter what you think about its validity, it makes you wonder, what does the existence of a framework like this, one that sees a coordinated internal effort to dismantle society, really tell us about the nature of our political fears today?